The Taliban is quietly pulling off something no one expected. Not another battlefield maneuver, but a construction campaign so vast it could rewrite Afghanistan's future and redraw the map of Central Asia. We're talking canals bigger than California's aqueducts, dams that can choke neighboring economies, and a brand new capital city rising from the desert. But here's the twist. Every project is about more than cement and steel. It's about control. Control of water, of energy, and of the trillions in untapped minerals buried under Afghan soil. And lurking behind all of it, China, with a $60 billion megacorridor pushing straight into Taliban territory. The project no one saw coming. The Taliban just shocked the world, not with a battle, not with politics, but with construction on a scale few thought possible. Deep in northern Afghanistan, nearly 400 kilometers from Kabul, something extraordinary is carving its way through the desert, the Reshape Canal. This isn't just a ditch or a modest irrigation line. At 185 kilometers long, it's already being hailed as the largest man-made canal in all of Asia, wider even than California's famous aqueduct. The numbers are staggering. Once completed, this single waterway will divert nearly 20% of the mighty Amu Darya River, funneling it across the desert plains. The payoff? Roughly 550,000 hectares of farmland could suddenly spring to life, an area bigger than the entire state of Delaware. For a country plagued by food shortages, this could increase Afghanistan's farmable land by nearly 1/3, pushing it closer to full food independence. Around the clock, 6,000 workers and massive excavators grind away in the dust, cutting through some of the harshest terrain in Central Asia. The total investment? $684 million, with the Taliban themselves contributing an additional $100 million to prove they're serious. It's a colossal undertaking, one that could feed millions. But here's the problem. This river doesn't belong to Afghanistan alone. Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan depend on that very same water for their own cotton fields. And the Taliban's position is brutally simple. We're taking our share, whether you like it or not. Water as a weapon. The Reshape Canal is just the beginning. Across the country, dams are being built, rivers diverted, and entire landscapes reshaped. The Taliban understands something that many underestimated. In Afghanistan, water equals power. Take the Bakhshabad Dam, for example. The Taliban announced fresh construction there, even as disputes with Iran flared over shared water rights. Each new dam brings not only irrigation and hydroelectric power, but also leverage over downstream nations that rely on these same flows. What's surprising many observers is how these projects are being handled. Under the US-backed government, corruption was rampant, billions vanished, and countless projects were left half-finished. But under Taliban control, reports suggest something unusual is happening: efficiency. Mega projects are not just being announced, they're actually progressing. In a country where infrastructure was once synonymous with scandal, that's a radical shift. A new capital rises. But the Taliban isn't stopping at canals and dams. They're daring to attempt something few would ever imagine: rebuilding an entire capital city. It's called Kabul New City, and it's unlike anything Afghanistan has ever seen. The plan covers a jaw-dropping 722 square kilometers, almost 1.5 times larger than present-day Kabul. The vision is staggering: 250,000 residential units designed to house between 1.1 and 3 million people. The goal? To ease Kabul's suffocating overcrowding and create a modern hub for the future. The project is divided into phases spanning decades. Phase 1 alone is split into 206 sections. In the Golden City District, 42,000 housing units are set to rise across 372 hectares, enough to hold more than 23,000 people. Construction restarted on Parcel B in August 2023, bringing 6,600 units for 40,000 residents. By late 2024, work had begun on Parcel 2.6 with an eye-watering $700 million investment, promising 52,000 units for another 33,000 residents. And it doesn't stop at housing. Universities, shopping centers, clinics, and green parks are all part of the blueprint. Schools, hospitals, utilities, and transport networks are being woven into the plan. Over 30 years, two massive phases are expected to transform barren land into one of the largest planned cities in Asia. For the Taliban, this is more than urban development. It's about showing the world that Afghanistan's future can look modern, organized, and powerful. China steps in. Of course, no story about Afghanistan's transformation would be complete without its most powerful neighbor, China. In May 2025, a landmark trilateral agreement was signed between China, Pakistan, and the Taliban to expand the already massive $60 billion China-Pakistan economic corridor straight into Afghanistan. For Beijing, this is more than an infrastructure project. It's a golden ticket to Afghanistan's mineral wealth and a direct trade route through Pakistan into Central Asia. For the Taliban, it's recognition, quiet but unmistakable, that Afghanistan's geography is too important to ignore. And this corridor isn't the only thing breaking ground. Enter the Trans-Afghan Railway Project, a $4.8 billion, 573-kilometer line connecting Uzbekistan to Pakistan through Afghanistan. What once took 35 days by road could soon take just 4 days by rail. But this is no easy job. Engineers will have to build more than 300 bridges and carve 5 major tunnels through some of the planet's toughest terrain. Construction is set to begin in 2025. Meanwhile, the Kaf-Herat Railway linking Afghanistan to Iran already became operational in 2023, sending its first shipment of 655 tons of equipment across the border. For a landlocked country, these connections mean access to Iranian ports, and, with them, global shipping networks. The Taliban's message is simple. You might not recognize us, but you can't ignore our geography. Energy wars. Infrastructure doesn't stop at railways. The Taliban is also diving back into one of the most ambitious energy projects in the region, the long-stalled Tapi pipeline. Tapi stands for Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and India. Originally conceived in the 1990s, the $10 billion pipeline was designed to carry 33 billion cubic meters of natural gas each year across 121 kilometers of difficult terrain. For decades, the plan sat frozen. But in September 2024, the Taliban stunned observers by restarting construction on Afghanistan's portion. With Turkmen officials by their side, they announced that work had officially begun. If completed, the pipeline could generate nearly $1 billion annually for Afghanistan and create thousands of jobs. And here's the twist. The Taliban was involved in Tapi's earliest negotiations back in 1998. 25 years later, they're picking up exactly where they left off. Then there's CASA 1000, a $1.2 billion electricity transmission project linking Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan's hydroelectric power to energy-hungry Afghanistan and Pakistan. The line is expected to transmit 300 megawatts of electricity, enough to light up 1 million homes, with 300 megawatts reserved for Afghan use. The most surprising part? In 2024, the World Bank greenlit its continuation despite not officially recognizing the Taliban government. Payments are routed through special arrangements that bypass Taliban coffers, but the infrastructure goes ahead anyway. The Taliban benefits from the energy and prestige, even if the money is technically out of reach, the treasure beneath their feet. But the most powerful card the Taliban holds isn't above ground. It's buried deep beneath it. Afghanistan sits on trillions of dollars worth of untapped minerals, lithium for electric car batteries, copper for wiring and electronics, rare earth elements essential to smartphones, satellites, and weapon systems. The Ainat copper mine is the clearest example. For 15 years, China has held the rights but struggled to get operations running. In July 2024, under Taliban guarantees of security, ribbon-cutting ceremonies once again declared operations underway. This time, many believe it could actually succeed. The Taliban has also been aggressive in taxing mining operations. In 2022 alone, according to World Bank reports, Afghanistan collected $154 billion in revenue, much of it from mining and reconstruction industries. That money is being cycled back into mega projects, canals, tunnels, and roads, that in turn make resource extraction even easier. It's a self-reinforcing loop. Minerals fund infrastructure, which unlocks more minerals, which fund even more construction. The Tunnel of Death Reborn. Perhaps the most symbolic example of this new era is the Salang Tunnel. At 11,000 feet above sea level, this 2.7-kilometer passage connects northern and southern Afghanistan. Built by the Soviets in 1964, it was designed for 2,000 vehicles a day. Today, up to 9,000 squeeze through its choking, dust-filled lanes. The tunnel has a dark history. In 1982, collisions sparked fires that killed as many as 2,700 people, one of the deadliest road accidents in history. Broken ventilation systems, avalanches, and constant traffic jams turned it into one of the world's most dangerous roads. But in December 2023, the Taliban announced something few believed possible. They had completely reconstructed the tunnel. The price tag? $100 million, nearly a quarter of Afghanistan's entire annual tax revenue. For a group once known only for war, pouring that kind of money into infrastructure sends a powerful signal: success or catastrophe. Across Afghanistan, a new reality is taking shape. Canals bigger than nations, dams reshaping rivers, cities rising from dust, railways carving through mountains, and pipelines stretching across volatile frontiers. Add in the trillions in hidden minerals, and you have the recipe for either a regional powerhouse or a regional powder keg. If the Taliban succeeds, Afghanistan could become a crossroads of trade and energy, finally shaking off decades of dependency. But if it fails, or if neighbors decide they can't tolerate losing water, minerals, or influence, the fallout could destabilize the entire heart of Asia. One thing is certain: for the first time in decades, Afghanistan is building more than it is breaking, and the world is watching closely. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss stories that go beyond the headlines. More untold power plays, secrets, and hidden moves are coming your way.